Welcome back, students, to the online lectures of Environmental Studies Semester 2. In the last lecture, we have started with the first module of second semester syllabus. Today, we are going to move forward with the same module. Solid waste management for sustainable society is the title for the first module, and this is the overview of the module number 1. In the last lecture, we have discussed the conceptual background of waste, some important terminologies that are used in defining waste, different sources of waste generation, and their characteristics have also been discussed. And we have also discussed different types of waste and different classifications of waste depending upon various criteria. Today, we are intending to discuss the impact of solid waste on human health and the environmental problems associated with solid waste disposal. And we are also going to discuss the concept of solid waste management and various methods of solid waste management. Before we actually start with the core part of the lecture today, let us have a look at module objectives once again. By the end of this unit, we will be able to understand the definition and classification of solid waste, which we have already done. We will be able to understand the importance of solid waste management in modern world. We will be able to understand the role of citizens in waste management, and we will also be able to know different rules and regulations that govern solid waste management in Maharashtra, particularly in Greater Mumbai area. Now, let us begin with some discussion on what are the potential causes or what are the factors that are responsible for increase in the waste and responsible for solid waste pollution. Dear students, it is evident that solid waste production or generation is directly proportionate with the population size of a region, I mean human population, and also the scale of economic development and standard of living. And therefore, the amount of solid waste that is being generated in a particular region for a given period is directly proportionate to the amount of resources or the rate at which the resources are used. And the rate of resource utilization depend upon two things. Number one is the population size, and number two is the improved standard of living or the level of living standard. And therefore, it is needless to say that the first important factor that is responsible for increasing amount of waste generation is overpopulation. It is a matter of fact that the world population is distributed unevenly across different countries in the world. Unfortunately, the population concentration is found to be more in Asian subcontinent, wherein India and China, only two countries, account for about 40% of the world population. It is very easy to understand that if you have more population, we need to satisfy the needs and wants and also aspirations of increased population like food, clothes, shelter, education, medical facilities, and so on. And that directly resulted into increased demand for resources. And therefore, the increased population lead to increasing use of resources and ultimately the increasing amount of waste. To take a very simple example, that now the entire country of India is undergoing a very difficult situation caused by COVID-19 virus, and as a precautionary measure, it is advised to use face mask and PPE kit for the medical personnels, and that has resulted into increasing demand for the face masks, medical equipments, and also the oxygen cylinder and also the sanitizers. Now, if we go on using this at a very larger scale, because we are more than 135 crore, the demand for such products increases very rapidly, and ultimately it results into increasing amount of waste, particularly to which we call this particular type of waste is called as biomedical waste on a very larger scale. And then the question remains, how to cope up with the waste and how to manage this or how to dispose this waste. And therefore population is a very important factor. In modern times, the modern society has become affluent society. Now the traditional society and modern society has a very peculiar difference between these two, that the modern society is more affluent, the modern society is more aspirant, the modern society is more materialistic, and that has resulted into increasing use of resources to make human life comfortable and luxurious. And therefore, as time passes and as there is an improvement in economy and modernization that take place in every sector of economy, that resulted into increasing aspirations of people towards materialistic lifestyle, and ultimately that results in increased use of resources, which ultimately reflected in the increasing amount of waste generation. Technology is considered to be the engine of economic development, which has led to the revolutionary changes in different sectors of economy, particularly the manufacturing industries, where technology has increased the rate of production, and it resulted into mass production scenario. And if there is a mass production, ultimately the market size is more in Asian countries like India and China having huge population, that ultimately result into increasing use of such resources, and further the waste generation is more. To take a simple example of this, if we talk about the lumbering activity, in traditional times or in ancient times, people used to use traditional equipments to cut the trees, and they had a very limited scope to cut large number of trees in a year or in a day, because the traditional equipment used to cut limited number of trees in a given period of time. But when technology for using machineries to cut the trees has evolved, the rate of cutting forest or the rate of lumbering has increased by manyfold, and that has its own implication in form of waste generation in different corners of the economy or different sectors of economy. As I mentioned earlier, that standard of living and consumption pattern also play important role in solid waste generation, because the rate of consumption of materials per capita is directly proportionate with the level of standards or living standards. And therefore it is found that the population which is living in at a higher standard of living, their waste production per capita is more as compared to those which are having low standard of living. A study was carried out in Mumbai a few years back to understand the standard of living and amount of waste generation per capita. And the result shows that the people living in bungalows and having highest possible standard of living are producing 4 to 5 kg of garbage per day per person. But the people living in slum and chawls, they have hardly zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.7 kg of garbage produced every day by a person. And therefore there is a very close relationship with this. So higher the standard of living, more waste is being generated. Lower the standard of living, lower will be the per capita waste generation. Another important factor that is responsible for waste generation and solid waste pollution is ignorance. The problem of solid waste disposal and solid waste pollution is not new. It has been persistent since past many decades. However, people in the past did not take it seriously, and they have ignored, and they went on disposing the solid waste as it is in open land. Now the situation turned to be worse today, because we don't have sufficient amount of land for solid waste disposal. We don't have mechanism for proper management of solid waste, and the ignorance that was done by the people few years back we have to pay heavily against it in present times because the situation has gone beyond the control. If you look at the per capita waste generation in one day, there has been a variation as expected across the countries in the world. Bermuda is a small island managed by British Overseas Corporation, is the region having highest per capita waste generation of about 4.54 kg of waste that is being generated every day by a person. This is followed by United States, Russia, Brazil, Japan with about 2.24 kg, 1.3 kg, 1.13 kg, 1.04 and 0.95 kg respectively. But the global average stands up to 0.74 kg across the world. And India fortunately has less per capita waste generation as compared to the global average. So if we look at the per capita waste generation across the countries, we'll find that the more developed countries are producing more waste per capita, whereas the less developed countries are producing less uh, solid waste per capita daily. Now, if we talk about the impact of solid waste, the first important impact is the improper dumping of solid waste. More often, if you could see the dumping waste or dumping yards in various urban agglomerations across India, we'll find that the garbage is dumped as it is without any processing or without any segregation, and that has resulted into increasing number of heaps of garbage every now and then, and that has resulted into contamination of soil because land which is used for solid waste disposal ultimately get affected because of the toxic materials or toxic substances that are present in the uh, garbage or solid waste. And sometimes it also contaminates the surface and subsurface water resources because most of the substances that leads to the subsurface and contaminates the groundwater and also surface water more frequently. And sometimes the solid waste disposal areas or open dumping yards catches fire, and that results into uh, you know uh, release of toxic gases or pollutants into the air, resulting into air pollution. So improper dumping results all kind of pollutions, particularly air, water and soil or land pollutions due to improper dumping. Contamination of groundwater and air pollution by open landfill is a very common phenomena in Indian cities because the dumping yards, if you look at the dumping yard sites in Mumbai, they are at approximate distance from creeks or sea coast, I mean coastal areas. And therefore, such landfilling not only pollutes the soil or land, but also the groundwater and air pollution is resulted by it, and that results into various environmental problems. Due to concentration of toxic materials in water bodies and subsurface water, caused by unwise use of waste disposal or improper waste disposal leads to contamination of water, both surface and subsurface water. There are various advanced methods of waste treatment, but if it is not done properly, it can result in solid waste pollution and will also pose risk to the life of the people in long run. Solid waste also affects the animals, plants, and other living organisms in the world, because if you look at the solid waste and its effect on living organism, small microbes, microscopic organisms, various reptiles, birds, animals are getting affected with that. And in urban areas particularly, the living organisms, particularly the animals, when eat the plastic bags along with the food stuff, sometimes die due to such kind of consumption of toxic material. The dumping of waste into disposal sites or dumping yards most often creates a breeding ground for mosquitoes and different waterborne diseases like cholera, dengue, malaria spread very rapidly around the waste disposal areas. And it also cause loss of aesthetic value or beauty of the nature around the region. Industrial solid waste and solid waste disposal is more dangerous as far as the uh, soil degradation and subsurface water contamination is concerned. Sometimes the waste disposal sites catches fire and the smoke created out of which include toxic gaseous substances leads to various respiratory diseases among the people living in surrounding areas. This is one of the important pictures of and satellite image of the Devnar dumping yard in Mumbai, which is the largest dumping yard. Caught fire about 4 years back, and that has resulted into increasing amount of smoke that has been uh, spread in the surrounding inhabited areas and resulted into various health issues among the people. And the news says that one child was died due to uh, the inhaling of such poisonous gas. Solid waste also results into various health problems. Now, the solid waste that is being generated out of industrial and municipal waste most often results into respiratory diseases like bronchitis, asthma, irritation of skin among the people, those who are actually handling the solid waste, irritation in nose and eyes, and sometimes the toxic material when it enters into our body, it may also create gastrointestinal problems and allergies. Waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, diarrhea, dysentery, malaria, hepatitis, polio, jaundice are very common diseases, and urban population, particularly those living in the surrounding areas of waste disposal sites, they offer suffer from this. A very unique example of Japan as how the toxic substances affect human health. Japanese people are suffering from a very dangerous disease called Minamata disease, which is neurological disorder caused by heavy metals like methyl mercury. And hundreds of people are suffering from this disease in Japan due to improper management of solid waste, particularly involving heavy metals in that. Plastic waste is also hazardous for health in many ways. As I told you that there are some gastrointestinal and stomach pain issue, vomiting, headache, diarrhea, cholera, skin diseases, and respiratory diseases are very common as far as the impact of solid waste is considered. Plastic waste also become hazardous when it enters to the ecosystem. This is the picture, symbolic picture of Minamata. This is how people are becoming physically paralyzed due to this. If we talk about the solid waste and its impact on health hazards, or its reflection in health hazard, is waste management at recycling sites. Now, recycling sites, when people are actually physically, reprocessing the things, they more often suffer from skin diseases or skin disorders and blood infection. There are some chronic diseases caused by inhaling of poisonous gases released from incineration plant. Incineration plant, we will talk about incineration plant in a couple of minutes after. But that is where the poisonous gases are released and they cause various respiratory diseases, sometimes cancer. The people, those who are actually engaged in physical reprocessing of waste, also caught in accidents like bone and muscle disorders, infection while handling the heavy containers, and many more other things. Sometimes the poisonous and poisonous chemical burns barrels are not properly managed, and that sometimes lead to the explosion at some time. Now, this is how the waste pickers or the people, those who are engaged in management of solid waste physically, they are most vulnerable to various health disorders uh, associated with the solid waste. I told you that the hazardous waste, if it is not properly managed, there are explosives in these barrels, and when it is not managed properly, sometimes it catches fire and explosions, leading to uh, increased risk of human health and sometimes lives in the industrial zones. If we talk about impact of solid waste on the environment, as we have discussed in few minutes back, that water, air, and soil pollutions are very common in the areas with solid waste disposal. These areas also become breeding ground for mosquitoes and leading to various waterborne diseases and infectious diseases. Bad odor and air pollution is again uh, caused due to decomposition of biodegradable solid waste. Burning of waste, particularly in incineration plant, lead to increasing amount of toxic fume in the air, and sometimes it results into chronic respiratory diseases too. Due to pollution, the photosynthesis process is also obstructed. This is a very simple example of how water bodies get affected due to solid waste disposal. The algae are produced on the surface of water, and the entire aquatic ecosystem that is obstructed, and the energy flow is obstructed, and such kind of dead lakes are observed to be more frequent. The wastewater, if we consider the sewage, most often clot the intraparticle spaces in soil, and then the soil compaction lead to decreased capacity of water retention, and that also affects the capability of productivity of soil in long term. Radioactive materials move away from soil into crops, livestock, and human bodies through food chain, and that affects the lives on or life on the earth surface in various manner. Industrial and chemical waste, particularly those releasing nitrogen and phosphorus into the nature, cause pollution of groundwater, and the example of it is eutrophication. Now, eutrophication is the process by which the water bodies are overnourished with the nitrogen and phosphorus, and only one species in that water body grow more as compared to other, and they uh, consume oxygen in dissolve in water, and that results into various problems with other species, and then the entire lake become dead lake. So that process is called as eutrophication. Biodegradable waste is decomposed naturally, and sometimes it emits greenhouse gases like methane, which is again responsible for global warming and climate change. Sometimes the uncontrolled waste disposal, particularly the plastic waste in the drainage systems, most often clot the water flow or obstruct the water runoff, and particularly during rainy season, and sometimes it results into the flood. 2005, in the year 2005, there was a flood in Mumbai. People are of opinion that that was because of the uh, clotting of drainage systems due to waste disposal in that. This is how the waste disposal is done in the drainage system, and then that clot or obstruct the flow of wastewater or sewage into the uh, stream, and when flood occurs, the entire wastewater that spread around areas, and that may result into various health disorders. Let us now have a look at the solid waste management. Solid waste management is the process by which the solid waste is picked up from the source, transported it to the destination, stored it, store it at collection center, and processing of solid waste in protective and economic manner is the definition of solid waste management. However, the solid waste management can be understood in a proper manner by three words: reduce, recycle, and reuse. Reduce means the reduction in use of resources, recycle of the materials if possible, and then reuse for various other purposes. But if we talk about the various stages of, or I mean, methods of solid waste management, we need to give highest possible priority for prevention, reduction in use, reuse, recycling, energy recovery, and the least importance to be given for disposal. Unfortunately, in many developing and underdeveloped countries, the waste disposal is prioritized and considered to be most convenient method, and that results into various problems, whereas little effort is taken to prevention, reduction, and reuse and recycling. There are various methods of solid waste disposal: collection, transfer, open dumping, landfills, incineration, and open dumps. Let us try to understand each of them. Collection and transfer. So, collection and transfer is the first phase of solid waste management, wherein the waste is collected from its source, transferred to the dumping grounds or recycling units or reprocessing units, and it is done on daily basis. In rich countries, particularly more developed countries, the transfer and collection of solid waste is done with high machineries or highly technology based machineries, and it has been more mechanized. But in developing countries or poor countries, still the solid waste management is done by people who are physically present in the solid waste you know generation areas, and they actually physically collect the garbage. So it is more labor intensive in case of less developed countries. And most of the times, spillover of the waste on roads, spread of the contamination of waste that occur due to improper collection and transfer mechanism. So waste generation is the first phase. Then people go for segregation of waste and prepare it for recycling, then storage and collection, and then disposal. So these are the four important stages of solid waste transfer. But unfortunately, the solid waste generations at source, the solid waste is transported directly to the disposal areas without any pre-processing of this. So this is how the developing countries are doing the solid waste collection and transportation mechanism by using manpower. Open dumping is a very common and widespread method of solid waste, but it is not appropriate method of solid waste disposal, because just dumping the solid waste at the dumping yard is not a solution. So uncontrolled disposal of waste is done at dumping sites. Sometimes open burning of waste also create problems, like catches fire in the dumping site areas. Landfill gas, particularly methane, sometimes leads to the outbreak of fire in dumping yard sites, and biomedical waste also becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes. So this is the open dumping site. Landfill is another a very important method of solid waste management, wherein the solid waste is dumped into the depression or land depression created on the land, and then it is filled with, and it is covered with the concrete surfaces, and then some energy recovery is also being done. However, the landfill areas, the recycling or segregation of this is done by children and people, and they suffer from various diseases, and their health is also at risk. And such areas, landfill areas, are grounds for rodents and pathogens more often. So this is the schematic diagram of landfill area. So this is the waste that is being dumped in the depression areas, and then the entire area is covered with the concrete cover, and this is the pipe out of which the gas is ejected, and that is being used for energy recovery. Incineration plant is nothing but the burning of solid waste in design furnaces or chambers. Uh, Technically, it is a very inappropriate method of waste disposal, because burning almost creates the huge amount of toxic material into the air. So incineration creates hazardous air pollution. Incineration of garbage produces energy, but it also causes pollution. So the piles of garbage and increasing amount of waste has to be reduced in terms of its size and weight, and therefore the incineration is the method by which it can be reduced by burning. So this is the diagram of incineration plant. So the waste is disposed here in the bunker, and then incineration with the steam generator is done. Some energy recovery is also done by putting turbines wherein the steam is being used, and then the toxic gases after waste gas cleaning is released back to through the chimney. So this is how the um, incineration is going on. Open ocean dumps, the areas where there is a limited availability of land, the ocean dumping is done more conveniently as compared to other methods of waste management. Like the old cars, refrigerators, furnitures are dumped into the unmanned islands or the coastal areas or in the ocean very conveniently. But of course, it creates a problem of water pollution in the ocean. So this is the uh, example of how the waste is being dumped into the ocean. So that's all about the different methods of solid waste management. We will discuss rest of the points of this module in the next lecture. Thank you.